Our world continues to change and push us in ways we have not been challenged before. On this show, we talk about these challenges, how to be aware of them, face them, and overcome them in your life. This is David Waldas, creator of the Align Living System.
And I'm Nick Musica, Align Living Coach. Welcome to the Align Living System podcast.
Welcome to the Align Living System podcast. This is David Waldas here with Nick Musica. Today's topic is, what do we do when enough is enough? When we reach that point where we're just like, I'm just not doing it this way anymore. I'm not okay with this. Something's got to give. And as we look at the world, I think many people are feeling that way. They're maybe feeling that way in their own lives. It's been very interesting times for a bit. And our childhoods have taught us what our default operating system should be about when we've had it, when we're done with things being the way they are. And there's some really popular ones. Anger is a really popular one, like lashing out, angry at everything. Another one is kind of the polarity of that is victimhood, shutting down, talking about, how trapped we are, talking about how these things are happening to us, and feeling that the kind of mixture of anger but disempowerment. Why is this happening to me? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you acting this way? That type of thing. And then there's this middle ground, this piece of what we're all about here with Aligned Living, which is about claiming our power, not abandoning ourselves, staying in our truth, and proceeding forward regardless of what's going on in the world or what's going on around us. And so, nice light topic today. I thought we'd start with Nick. Good morning.
Good morning. Another kittens and puppies conversation. I love it.
Well, it's so interesting to me because I've known those, right? Growing up, I had a lot of anger. I was so mad at the world. And, it's not like it's completely gone, but that feeling of being an uber empath, walking out into the world and feeling really shitty, feeling, getting blueprints of other people's anger and manipulation and all the stuff that's so alive in our world, having it flow into me, and then feeling like the world was doing that to me, because of my ability to feel and read it, as many people have that are empathic that are listening to this. And it made me really angry. It made me feel like the world was doing this to me, and mixture between anger and that victimhood of why do people treat me this way, or why do people treat each other this way, or why do people act this way? I can't reconcile it. And that piece of fluctuating between the aggressive anger versus the shut down victimhood, and it just being a default, right? It not being something that was an effective tool, but it was just driven by emotion, driven by reaction, driven by programming. And then this place of what happens when I actually just hold my truth, let everything move around me, and I just hold my ship right and don't get taken down by all the things that are going on, because they're always going on. And right now we're experiencing a much more extreme version of it, which in some ways it's almost easier because it's so obviously freaking a shitstorm out there, that to stay in your alignment, not in the harbor, but in the alignment out walking through it, is a totally different experience of going, I'm not interested in diminishing my power. I'm not interested in abandoning my alignment with myself and that peacefulness that's there, that connection with source, that sense of self, to go get angry, to go become all these other things. And to me, that's one of the things that the Aligned Living System is just, obviously I've been doing it since 2016. And teaching it since 2016. So I've had a lot of time to really learn to settle into it and learn how to right my ship quickly when I'm out of it. But this year in particular, that piece of it, the not abandoning yourself, not getting sucked into these old ways of being, has been a huge thing on my plate, and kind of doubling down on my commitment to just going, so that happened, okay, or that person responded to me that way, or treated me that way. I don't need to adjust based on that. And the world's forcing this for us, because otherwise we're just following the shitstorm that's happening. And so, you know anything about this, Nick?
I'm not familiar what the shitstorm is you're referring to here, David.
Oh, shit. Sometimes I just get caught in my own head and talk about irrelevant things to other people,
If you're talking about the world at large, then I'm familiar with it. But if something else, then
the world at small, too, yeah.
Fair enough.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I have pushed off the world for a long time as best I can. Because it doesn't feel good, it's distracting, it feels incongruent. Like, there's a bunch of things that I'm just not a fan of. And at the same time, I probably pushed it a little too far, just like almost like being ignorant of it. And so I've let a little bit of it back in, but that's also, it's a little bit like drinking. Right? I mean, it is. It's like you go out with your buddies for a drink, And then you get home at 2 a.m. and just like, I thought you were going out for a drink. Well, I mean, that was true, but then one drink led to another drink, and 10 drinks later, like, here we are. So it's a slippery slope, right? To this awareness of the shitstorm without sort of, just taking it all on.
Yeah, it's like putting your foot in a fast flowing river and it just sucks you in. And to me, it's so much trust and faith, right? Like as we watch things that are going on, can we let them get way out of control without us getting way out of control, knowing that this is the process as it writes itself?
Yeah,
right?
I was talking with a buddy yesterday, and we're talking about just the world at large, and he's just like, I'm upset. I'm upset about everything. I'm upset about what's going to happen to the environment. I'm upset about what's going to happen to people, like all the things. And it's not that I don't agree with him. I do agree with him. And I'm certainly not, this is not I fluctuate because there is a lot out there, but I can't help but think this is what we need for it to get better, because it's been so bad for so long that apparently
it has become unsustainable.
Yeah, but even and it's been bad for so long, but not bad enough to change.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So, like sustainable suffering, sustainable bad is you just keep suffering through it. But when it becomes unsustainable, when it becomes unbearable, we're just like, and it needs to get that bad. I mean, that's how personal growth works. It's dark to the soul, hitting rock bottom.
Yeah. And I brought this up recently to someone else. I forget who it was, but I watched this video about Dax Shepard, who's an actor, who was talking about his substance abuse and alcohol and pills and all that. And he goes, he's describing this weekend. He bought like a bag of pills for the week. Anyway, he wakes up like 48 hours later or a day and a half later, blacked out. He ate all the pills and drank all the alcohol. And he's like, you would think that'd be my rock bottom. But here's the thing. There's multiple rock bottoms, and not everyone bounces out of them. And sometimes in this context, it takes people out. And you could say the world at large, this context could make people feel so bad emotionally that you sort of start going a little fucking crazy, right? But there's multiple. The point was there's multiple rock bottoms, and for whatever reason, there was more awful rock bottoms after that. And I feel like globally, culturally, whatever the right noun language is, we've been hitting rock bottoms collectively, but we just haven't
along them.
But it just hasn't been enough, or the right one, or the flavor that we can all get behind and go, enough is enough. But there's, you would think 48 hours of blackout would be enough to go, oh shit, something has to change.
Yeah. I mean, it reminds me of Nikki Sixx. Did you ever see that interview with him from Nikki Sixx from Motley Crue? He overdosed on heroin. His heart stopped. They were able to revive him, brought him to the hospital, released him. He went home and overdosed again on heroin. He died, got up and then did it again.
Yeah, right? He wakes up with a needle in his arm and a puddle of blood in his hand, right?
Yeah.
Not bad enough.
No, you just died. We revived you, and you went back and tried it again because
right. It's like that was a close call. Whew, what are we doing now?
I guess when you actually die, does that count as a close call?
It did to him. Apparently.
I guess if they brought him back, it was a close call. You just spent a little bit of time in death.
Yeah. So I mean, there's multiple rock bottoms, and they could be awful. And I heard myself saying yesterday, like, I couldn't understand why this wasn't the rock bottom for everyone. I couldn't understand why this was the rock bottom for everyone. Why this was it. And now we're about to experience something that collectively we haven't experienced for sure. Economically, I mean, and it hasn't been good for a while, and now it's going to get worse. So it seems.
Yeah. Maybe. Or it's a big, false charge, like a bear that runs in, that's like he's going to attack you and then pulls it all back. We've seen that a bunch. And to me, so all that's going on, right? And there's mainstream society that needs to follow that wave, that needs to be dragged along the rubble on the bottom of rock bottom. And then those of us that have the ability and the tools to hold our alignment, like, to me, it's just so clearly that is our job. And when we do that, we're helping right the ship. We're helping give another place for humanity to engage from. And it's where we're ultimately all going to engage from. And so do we trust that? Do we let the process play out and trust that we're not going to destroy ourselves? I mean, it's interesting. Part of this probably for me is it's easier to do that because I've gotten these very clear channels that says there's intervention happening, that society's been on the brink like this 7 other times. And each time humanity's self-destructive nature has won, and we've destroyed ourselves, and it's funny seeing all these ancient civilization discoveries that keep happening from, ancient. You're like, there was technology before.
Yeah. Right.
And so, like, to me, that's just so clear. And the guides have come in and they've said, we're intervening this time. We're actually going to see humanity through this. We're going to, last time we didn't. The last 7 times, or 6 times we didn't. This is the 7th time we're intervening. And so to me, that gives me, like, it was so clear. Like, it gives me the faith to just go, all right, well, I know what my job is then. My job is not to fight this. Like, this is what needs to happen. This is what this needs to look like. And my job is to hold my alignment, hold my truth, hold my clarity, not abandon myself or my connection with God, and be in my truth and invite other people here and help them stabilize. And to me, like, how exciting to be here and have that be my job. And, like, those of us that are doing this work, that is our job. And so when we get that clear on it, we go, well, can I trust that everybody's doing the job that they're supposed to do? And I'm part of a team, and my job here is alignment.
Yeah.
My job is not to go get dragged along the bottom of rock bottom. My job is to stay clear. My job's not to go into victimhood. It's not to go into anger. It's not to go into, whatever experience that is, but to go, I'm going and stabilizing the place we're all going to end up eventually. And I'm starting to collect other people. I'm starting to help that stabilization. And together, we're creating this place that we're going to.
Yeah.
And if we're swinging the swings and we carry this much energy, like, I know if I go into, there's something very wrong here, this isn't okay, I don't think it's going to be okay, and bring all the energy that, runs through me now after doing this work for years and years, like, I can help steer the ship into the ground, or I can help stabilize it. And I have to be super clear about what that is. And those of us that cultivate this energy inside of ourselves, we have to be super clear. And we have to know what our role is and what our job is, and let other people play their roles and do their jobs. Because the moment we get confused about what our role and our job is, and for years, the guides have been saying to me, if you get involved in fighting the darkness, like, you're cooked, like, you need to bring the light and nothing else is relevant to you. And we've passed the place where fighting the darkness did any good. Like, we've already won. We're already on the other side of it. Now we just need to bring the light and not get entangled in the darkness. Because we're already, it's past
I get that.
The spring equinox, right? Of life, of humanity's consciousness. And so it's getting lighter and lighter and lighter.
Yeah. I mean, one of the times I was spending with San Pedro the cactus, I heard you don't solve the problems, you create.
Yeah. Yep.
And you were
out-create. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not going to the problem and sewing it up and making it better or shining it or fighting it. It's just going, this is what has to be created over here. Let's go do that.
Yep, absolutely. And that is the new earth, the new humanity, and it's all happening. And to me, I see so much evidence of it constantly. And, I wish I could let people see and hear the messages. Like, all I can do is say them and vibrate that frequency of it. But to me, there's zero concern that we're not going to recover from this, that we're not going to pull out of it. And having that faith, that clarity, that, receive that guidance, like, it allows me to know what my job is. If I was uncertain, I'd be all angry. I'd be all sideways. I'd be all out in the. And so I've needed this absolute certainty, and it's been given to me. And it's been channeled in. And so, like, I want that to be contagious in me so other people can go, great, let's start building this thing. Let's out-create, the old energies, because we've already won. It's just a matter of it unfolding now. The war's over.
Yeah. So you said something that I think could be challenging for a lot of folks.
I never say anything like that. I don't know why you project those things on me, Nick.
Let's just explore this one. Let's just give it a shot.
All right. Well, we'll just hold this.
Just
vague
for fun.
Possibility that
just for fun.
All right, I'm with you. Now that it's just a.
It's an academic exercise. Stick with me.
Okay. All right.
So this idea of clarity, right? And not getting confused about things, right? And being certain about this is what I need to do. When 90%, if not more, of the things that are echoed and heard and that are being digested, consumed, are the exact opposite.
Sounds delusional.
And when we're all talking about it, there's sort of a group delusion, right? And there's also a lot of evidence of it being the thing we need to deal with now.
I thought that. I sound delusional.
You sound delusional.
Yeah, right. Because when you have the majority that says this is how it is, and there's a handful of people going sure, and everything's fine. There's no problem. Just hold your light, hold your frequency. Don't abandon yourself. Don't abandon God. Don't abandon who you are, and be that, and don't worry about it. Like, that sounds crazy, and then eventually it won't.
Yes. So then how do we get from feeling uncertain to the path of certainty? How do we get on the path of certainty?
Just believe me. It's fine. It's all good. So, like, honestly, when we're in our full alignment, that's what we experience. And I see it with client after client, right? We go into this place inside of ourselves where the greater truth is, where we're not caught up in all the push and pull of all the human drama and the emotions and, the inundation of there's something very wrong here. And we go into our direct relationship with Source or God or however you see it, the higher self, and we just go, there's something really special happening right now. There's something really incredible and magical, synchronistic. And through the human lens, it looks horrific. Through this divine lens, it's incredible. It's funny. I was just having this flashback too, and this is a great description of this. I can't remember if I shared this on here before, but we had this Chihuahua Isabel for 14 years. I think we got her through an adoption, and so we weren't quite sure how old she was, but she was probably like 18, and as fast as it shifted, and she was done with her job here, and she, it was time for her to go, and so she got sick, and I remember bringing her to the vet. And the vet, we're like, okay, well, we need to put her down. So we said our goodbyes, and I'm holding Isabel, and the vet's, holding her as well, getting ready to put the injection in. It's this really sad moment. But as I'm looking at her, and the vet injects the toxin that that puts her to sleep, so to speak, and all of a sudden I see her leave her body and become this angelic feminine being and just stay there for a minute and then just like engage with me and then slowly just leave the room. And as she does, like I'm seeing her and I start to smile at her and I'm like, this is beautiful experience that I'm having with my dog dying and her showing me herself in this angelic form and what she's been here on the planet doing and providing. And it's just this beautiful experience. And I realize I have this big, stupid smile on my face. And the doctor's looking down at her still, and he's about to look up at me. And I'm like, oh shit, fix your face. Like, this doesn't work here. And then he's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, like trying to be in a, appear sad when I'm having this beautiful experience with my dog passing and her angelic spirit and being going through. And it was such a clear piece of like, this is the two realities, right? What do we see actually happening?
That's true.
And society's asked me to be sad and to be solemn and to sit there with the doctor who's being so compassionate. And like if I'm sitting there with this big ass smile on my face while we're killing my dog, right? Like what is wrong with you? But the experience, the reality of it was this beauty and this, and it was still sad because it was a goodbye, it was a passing on, but it was this beautiful exchange I had with Isabel and interaction with her spirit, and to me that like it's so aligned with what we're talking about here. There's so much beauty happening in this, emerging of the light, but as it's coming up through, there's massive destruction. And at a human level, it's catastrophic. And so, like, smiling while your dog dies, like, that shit's fucked up. But smiling while you have this incredible, beautiful interaction with her spirit and this incredible depth. And so both experiences are happening at the same time. And if you're experiencing both of them, makes perfect sense. If you're not experiencing both of them, you're only experiencing the destruction. It's delusional. Right. And so that to me this is why Aligned Living, I think, 100% I'm sure this is why this channel was given to me 8 years ago, so I could fine tune it, and talk about it where it wasn't that relevant and didn't make that much sense to people, because it's about now and it's about the place that and the tools that we need in order to navigate and manage what's happening on the planet now, and to keep us from being sucked into the limited experience of the destruction and missing the divine hand in all in our own alignment and our own job and our own very, very clear role for us to play in this. And to me, it's just, that's so clearly what's happening, what my role is in it, and many of the people listening. So
I was following along.
The big takeaway is don't smile when you're killing your dog.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
So that was such a, like, it was one of those moments where I'm just like, this is just so weird. Like, this is just so like a different reality's happening. And I just, it's my job to have my own experience while I play along with the outer experience. Right. It wasn't something explainable. It wasn't something reconcilable. It was just, I need to play along with the outer experience while I have my own inner experience. And that's okay.
Yeah. Well, I would say this, if I heard you say that before 2017, I would say, I don't know what this guy's fucking talking about. He seems like he's out of his head. But unfortunately, or fortunately, both, I do know what you're talking about. and haven't had that experience for sure. And but having talked to multiple animals that are no longer on the planet,
these angelic beings, right?
yeah, as beyond the physical form, right? Just it's just a fact. And when the young lady, the psychic medium, said blah blah blah, you're gonna talk to animals, and this part, it's gonna be easy for you. The only thing that I thought would make this possibly easy for me is the work that you and I have done together.
Yeah.
And so you've said it before. There's a before and after aligned living, right? And so that was like, oh, there's a whole new path ahead of me. Who even knows what's going to happen there? And I had
much greater inner uncertainty of who we are and what we're doing, and much greater outer uncertainty.
Yeah.
Which already exists. So how about some how about some inner certainty? Let's take that, since the outer uncertainty is already there. We don't need to worry about breaking something that's already broken.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And so all those things would have sounded very, very fucking crazy a little bit ago. And now they sound very relatable. So for anyone's going, that sounds crazy, I get it. I understand what you're thinking, but I also would say that is no longer true, and it is far removed from true for me, because I relate to that comment now. That's awesome. Versus that shit's not real, right? It's just and so to have that perspective is to have that perspective of something way bigger in the time where all these things seem to be very heavy is
yeah,
very
pass through.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was just thinking about, how some people can say something and go, right? And everybody goes, yeah, right. Like, I don't get to do that very often in outer circles. So that's why I created the center circles. Like, right? Yeah, right. What the fuck are you talking about? Crazy.
The broader metaphysical conversations they're not for mass media. Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
But it's changing. And it's exciting. And so, and that's the piece, like to be able to hold our own, if you're entangled into what's wrong, you're being dragged on the bottom of rock bottom. It probably sounds selfish. It probably sounds like spiritual bypassing. It probably sounds like, avoidance, not taking responsibility, not playing the role that you're supposed to be playing. And I get that, right? Like I've been there. I've played that role. And having the tools to recognize that, bringing stability in a place that's on the other side of all of this, what a beautiful role to have right now, because the other jobs are rough. Like, I feel for those people, but I'm not adjusting for those people, and that's the majority of the population, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, great conversation. I hope this is inspiring folks, rather than just showing up delusional. I'm sure it shows up delusional to some folks, and that's okay too. It's part of this, and part of what we've had to learn to get comfortable with, because there's some very clear, multiple realities happening at the same time, and multiple interpretations of that. And so
choose which reality you want.
Yeah. And explore, find your truth. And to me, we have a very exciting and very important job to do, and it's absolutely amazing to be incarnated on the planet at this time with these roles. And if you're listening to this, if you're just getting on here to be judgmental and angry, maybe this isn't for you. But if you're here and you're going, gosh, maybe there's something here for me, let's play, right? There's some powerful tools that were given to me to give to you guys. It changes lives, and it's what we need to navigate these times. Beautiful. Well, thanks so much for listening, and have a great week. I don't know what else to say other than let's hold our alignment and not abandon ourselves, and not abandon our mission here, not get confused. Everything's gonna be fine. Fantastic. Great. Amazing. This is a process.
It's a process.
Awesome. Have a great week, everyone.
We hope you enjoyed listening to today's podcast. And if you did, please subscribe so you can catch the next episode. If you want to learn more about the Aligned Living System and how it could support you in your life, check out davidwaldas.com.